Okay, you got it.
Hello, folks. That time of the week again. We're trying to get some paperwork straightened out here, so it'll be a minute. Selectman Stacy had a family emergency and will not be here today. The two Bowers are here, and that's more than enough. We just modified the, actually a couple weeks ago, we're just signing it now, the personal policy for Parsonsfield, who's eligible for insurance and who is not eligible for insurance.
What is this? It's an email about very slow internet? I don't think it's supposed to be there.
No, I don't think so either. Oh, I know, came in with,
Came in with Maya's stuff.
Yeah. So I didn't get Maya's equipment. I got his payroll, but not his equipment.
Town clerk will be in a minute. We're currently reviewing the last week's agenda and bills that need to be reviewed and approved.
We should not pay this BEU Xerox bill. I'm gonna cancel that.
Okay.
They've been unresponsive, they can't get us what we need, and they were gonna call 2 weeks ago, and nothing, so.
So,
Is the lease is up on that, right?
Yeah, we own the equipment.
Okay.
We never leased it, we bought it outright to start.
And just paid them a maintenance fee?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So I'm gonna, I'll turn that one sideways. I will deal with
is
that
that
tomorrow,
to
or
be paid? That's not to be,
it's in the red.
yeah, right, okay,
Yeah.
good, thank you.
The office is going to be closed next Tuesday.
Monday.
Monday is off for Christmas.
Yeah.
We're going to be not have a meeting on Tuesday.
Oh, we're not gonna have a meeting. The office is not gonna be
okay.
closed.
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, very different.
that's true.
Thank you.
Deb, do we have to put that in the paper, or is that good for the webpage?
Yes, too late to get it in the paper.
Yeah. Website and Facebook are good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Danielle, do you wanna?
Sure. Sure. I just wanted to go over the holiday schedule. I think maybe I just did that. So we do have an ad in the shopper's guide. The office will be closed Friday, December 23rd and Monday, December 26th for Christmas. We will also be closed Friday, December 30th and Monday, January 2nd for New Year's. Dog licenses are due by December 31st. And just so everyone's aware, we do have the new 2023 hunting and fishing licenses now available. Also in our ad, we mentioned that, just for a reminder for people, cannot park in a plowed right-of-way, or your vehicle will be towed. Leading into that, I did want to talk a little bit about some things we heard and what I experienced for storm number 1 this year. There was some concern and problems over Province Lake, the storm. Understood that it was a really bad storm. It was very heavy. However, we didn't get plowed out very timely at all. The storm hit on Friday, was over by Saturday around 10, 11 o'clock. I do have some pictures I took. If you guys want to look at them. I just did one copy because they're in color. So on Smith Road, I had 7 inches of snow on the roadway, and it didn't get plowed until 2 o'clock. I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, and it was very hard to get out. I had to go get gas for my generator. I did have to travel Middle Road to drop off one of my son's friends, so I did go 153 to Middle Road from New Hampshire and tried to get to Merrill Hill. I couldn't get through. And this was at 4 o'clock. I took some pictures. Only one lane was plowed at 4. And you can see how much snow there is in the roadway. And I had a lot of trouble with 4-wheel drive. And it was all the way from New Hampshire to Merrill Hill. Understood when I passed Hasty Road trying to get to Merrill Hill. There were lines down and trees down past Hasty Road. But we're talking about one lane all the way from New Hampshire end all the way to the trees. It made it very hard or almost impossible for people to get out. I couldn't get through Village Variety, and I couldn't get through Hasty Road either because that was the same way, that was one lane. So I just tried turning around and went back to New Hampshire. There were some comments that we did hear. Maplewood was in the same condition, Mountain Road, and Shoreacre Road was in the same condition. So hopefully the next storm does go smoother, but just so you are aware, I mean, that was late into Saturday night. People had to get gas for their generator and had to get out, so.
So when you were plowed at 2 o'clock or so on Saturday, that was the first time they were through there?
Yeah, they didn't plow
Okay.
at all during the storm.
Okay. Yeah.
That's,
This sounds like the first time we got a storm on the first year of the contract. I mean, they've got to be out there. I don't know what we need to do to get them out. I mean, they need to live up to the contract.
I'm
And
just
we
like, why don't
certainly
you call them in
didn't-
and have a meeting with them?
We certainly didn't hear of any equipment issues that they had or personnel.
No, and they did fairly well. Now, maybe last year was a light year, but they did relatively well last year.
Yeah.
You'd think it would continue, but
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
not.
the only thing I can think is that they thought there were enough trees and lines down so they couldn't get through. But I don't know. I mean, you still have to plow. Obviously, you can't plow through trees or lines, but you can't not plow. And one lane on these roads is ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't know. We need to do something.
We have his email address. Phone numbers.
Yeah.
So why don't we have them come in
Yeah.
whenever we can. And just go over, see what he says happened on Saturday.
Yeah, I would get him in here on our next meeting on the 3rd. And in the meantime, maybe I'll craft an email. And we pay some pretty decent money for plowing. We need to be plowed. Okay, that's the best we can offer right
No,
now,
just wanted to
Danielle.
mention it. It's
Yeah,
hard
well,
to know what's going on in
appreciate
such a
it.
big town, so.
Yeah.
Cleaning the gym, looks like it's getting a little more use now with the senior activities. Is Delcy supposed to go through that at all, or are they just sweeping it, or is that how we keeping that up?
Well, the groups that are using it are cleaning it so that it
Yeah.
ends up supposedly the same way it was when they
Okay.
went in. I mean, we probably want to keep an eye on it and, once every 6 months or something, have Delcy go through it if
Okay.
she's willing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we should not have to do it very often.
okay. Do we have an audit report for last year?
No.
We don't have an audit report?
Not yet.
Have one for the prior year.
Okay. I did forward Debbie and David this email. I heard back from the state today on Elm Street in response to our email asking for clarification and some more information on Elm Street. And they basically said that this was a FOA request and they could not honor it because it was considered an open case.
This is the farm on Elm Street.
Right, I know, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to translate what she just said. What was that again?
They considered it, it's a freedom of access request, that's how they're treating it.
Yeah,
And they said they can't provide any information because this is considered an open case. I did talk to Debbie and she said, well, ask because of our ACO was not properly notified in the courts. So I did respond and said, why are you considering this an open case? And I did give that information and I haven't heard back. So we do have a name, a phone number, and an email response at least, so.
okay.
And did we ever get anything from Kristen? I know Jesse asked for her file, whatever her file is.
I don't know whether we
Don't
got
know.
it or not.
Yeah, I don't
I did
either.
talk to her last week and she said that she had another call at the farm and she was very upset and called the state and they called her back and they said that was all they could do and she had to take another dead goat off the property. So,
All right, well, we can pursue it a little bit. I mean, if the state isn't gonna do anything, there isn't unfortunately a whole lot that we can do. But we'll keep
Well,
pushing
they
it.
pursued it before, I mean, I would think at least go to the level of the last activity. I mean, there was a court case that we didn't get notified about.
Right,
I would think that at least bring it back to a court case.
you would think that, from what Danielle says, they've done what they can.
that's what they told Kristen over the
That
phone.
means call it open and don't do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we'll just so everyone's in the loop. We did hear from someone a couple days ago. No, it's only Tuesday. It was yesterday. About our sheriff. Has anyone heard anything on the contract changing with Sheriff King and the
Yeah.
state police?
Well, yeah, our contract isn't changing.
Okay.
The agreement between state police and the sheriff is changing on
Okay.
January 23rd, I
Third, yeah.
believe. Yeah, where
Okay.
we will get our backup coverage from state police as
Okay.
opposed to the sheriff's office. But our contract with the sheriff's office
Okay.
is not changing.
They're still responsible for 40
Yeah.
hours. per
Okay,
day.
that was the concern. They
Yeah.
said, well, what's us?
And as a matter of fact,
Are we?
Darren thinks we will actually get better coverage because he will be less responsible for responding to other local towns.
Oh, good.
State police will be responding more often.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for the clarification.
Mm-hmm.
And standard 2022 taxes, we've got 91% so far.
Excellent.
That's about in line with what we normally get, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you and I probably need to talk, or maybe you're already on top of it, but foreclosure notices
Yes. Yep.
and W-2s and 1099s.
Yep, that would be great. We
Okay.
could go over that. Yep.
All
And I
right.
am working in the Trio system. Debbie showed me how to get into play, and I'm perusing that.
Okay,
And probably will tackle that tomorrow.
okay.
Yep.
She's not set up for an account. So you and I and Dennis, myself, Trio, they can get into the play part, but she can't, so I had her go into the admin.
I have to log into as admin.
I've sent an email to Trio to,
That's what we log in, or what
Yep.
the clerk logs in under.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't
It's
know
just a
that.
name. It's not any different.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I didn't know
yeah.
that part, so,
Yeah.
okay, then
Yep.
you're set.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay. Anything for me?
Nope, other than what I just said.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
And have a very, very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Very, very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, as they say, we'll see you next year.
Yes.
I'll see you tomorrow.
No report from the CEO. He was in here briefly this morning. York County Sheriff's report gave us information for the last 3 or 4 years on Darren's vehicle and the contract with the Sheriff's Department that the town of Parsonsfield has.
For the vehicle, right?
Right, well-
Okay, okay, yeah.
And the other too. I mean, there's 4 or 5 pages here, contracts. Keep going.
Oh, I see, it's under here. Okay, yep, got it.
That report was based on the questions that Jeff had last week on the contract.
Mm-hmm. Okay, for the cost, yeah, all right, I recall.
Yeah.
Now, we know the planning board meeting is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. Oh, Danielle? I meant to mention this offline, but I'm gonna mention it now because I forgot. The planning board agenda,
Yeah.
the link says the 14th on it,
Oh.
not the 21st.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So I will be at that meeting.
Oh, excuse me. I'm assuming, Dave, there's nothing on the Secaucus Road solar.
That's correct. I have not contacted them since I left for Wisconsin.
And did our 3 lucky vendors ever get back to us?
2 of them did and said it's gonna be after the first of the year. One of them thought they could get here before the first of the year. So,
Any type of pricing or just?
no.
They want to
They
stop
wanna
in and
see it.
visit?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'd be nice. The Robinson Mill right now, it looks like there'll be an executive session scheduled for next Thursday to talk to the town attorney, put the few remaining items into the lease agreement, or make sure they're there, in the purchase and sales agreement, I should say. And with the hope that the first meeting of the year would be able to sign the purchase and sales agreement. Something 6 years in the making. And the Stanley Building, you all know the hearing has been rescheduled for January 5th at 2:30. I believe the information how to log on is on the town website. We had a workshop with Jen Lewis, sorry, to discuss some of the things that are going on in the town hall. We have coffee every Monday, and a luncheon the fourth Wednesday.
Fourth Wednesday.
Not the last Wednesday, but the fourth Wednesday of the month. That's really will be handled by Province Lake, Sean Beckworth. And Jen said there's a suggested donation of $8 for seniors and $10 for non-seniors.
Well, the suggested donation is for seniors, 65 and over. If you're under 65, you have to pay
Oh, you
$10.
must?
It's
Oh,
not a
okay.
donation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my understanding, at least. And that is not starting on the fourth Wednesday of December, just so you know. It's starting the fourth Wednesday of January.
Right.
Because I don't think we've reached the fourth Wednesday in December yet.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Jesus, that's, no, I thought it was tomorrow, but it's not. Shucks. We have an email from John Lesko regarding the use of ARPA funds. I'm sure this was generated from our special town meeting. So we will put this with, I don't know if we've gotten anyone else to say anything about this, received any information, but we'll take this and we'll send an email to MMA, our legal arm, so to speak, and ask on the things we've approved, just to make sure that we're covered, that these things would be qualifying for ARPA reimbursement. So we'll get that all together, see how the money is, and then if we need to, which I'm sure we will, because we'll have an extra 65,000 from the unallocated, not extra, Jesus, can't talk today, folks, sorry. Unallocated 65,000 for not doing the parking lot, so.
So I think we should wait on a workshop and
Yeah, until we get all the-
see if we get
right,
other
exactly.
suggestions.
I will email him tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe late in
I
January.
was thinking solar panels to the ball field, behind the town hall. I know that there are people that would like to use that for
Mhm.
croquet or, some kind of activity. So that's something that will have to be discussed. I think we are concerned that we have the panels on the roof, so we'll check, but I think we're pretty much off the grid right now
Well,
with the panels.
when he says off the grid, he means disconnected.
maybe we're not just, well, we probably disconnected because we're selling energy back to them.
Yeah, but they're selling it to us as well. We get an offset. I mean, it's, yeah, we're not off the grid. We're not gonna go off the grid, I'm afraid. At least not in the immediate future.
So, but appreciate the ideas.
Yep, and we can talk about those.
And I know Cliff had mentioned some ideas on the kitchen and doing some things for making this a emergency shelter. So write your notes down, or suggestions down, Cliff, and send them in and we'll work on it. Saco River Commission just sent us some information on how they monitor the river.
Yeah, they have a new process.
Yeah.
That's much more accurate and it can identify the source sometimes.
Well, yeah, right.
Well,
If they get close enough.
yeah.
Two updated bulletins, property tax abatement and appeals procedure. This gives a method of correcting an error if you feel your property was overassessed, and how to request the abatement.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read those yet.
On the main municipal, we pay our, I guess this is quarterly, or January into January. The workman's comp is $5,500 this year. $5,575. Payable 4 times a year. It starts out as an estimate based upon previous history, and then at the end of the year there's a final accounting, and the last few years we've gotten a check for about $300-400. So the invoices get figured fairly closely. And as I mentioned, we went over our personnel policy to add some people into our insurance program. Basically, the road crew, person responsible for cutting along the sides of the road and that type of thing, as long as he works over, or she works over 30 hours a week, average.
Average, yeah.
So somehow a request from Russell Wheeler to have a section of West Pond named Spinney Cove for Dennis Spinney, who saved the pond from being a swamp.
I would like to recommend to them that they undertake this as their own doing. If they want to put up a plaque, they're certainly welcome to. My only concern is that if we did this for this, we may end up getting requests from a lot of people for similar things.
Well, we could have West Pond with 5 different names on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a formal name change. It's still West Pond and still will be.
He
But-
could sign up for the Spirit of America if he wanted to.
He could recommend that.
I will recommend that to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you okay with that, Ed, if we
I-
suggest that they undertake that on their own?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of what. Well, I suppose we've got a half a dozen ponds, lakes that could apply to
Well, it could,
in the town.
yeah, it could be ponds, it could be lakes, it could be parks, it could be woods, it could
Rivers.
be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Dennis did a lot, and he manned he put together and then manned the
The gate down there.
the milfoil boat
Oh, okay.
for many years, and he may still do it.
All right. We have a note from the road commissioner about last week's storm was rough on the plowing equipment and there was some mailbox damage. We do have a policy on mailbox damage. You can't. This is from Meyer. After the hell we went through for 24 hours, that is the last of my worries. Tore the heck out of my truck, keeping them on the roads open. From now on, if the mailboxes don't meet Department of Transportation specs, we will no longer be fixing them. It's really our decision.
Is it? Frankly, I don't know what the policy
Yeah,
is.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah,
I think we replace up to $50. There's a specific policy though that,
okay.
But I think it had to be the right
Certain
setback.
distance, yeah.
right, well, I mean, there's something, we addressed it, hopefully we addressed it thoroughly enough to
Okay.
answer all the questions.
All right. I'd like to see that policy so I can inform myself on it. I don't need it now, Ed.
Okay, that's fine. All right, that's about it, folks. We have, Jesus, what? I'm on codeine. So,
You strayed from the
You
agenda.
might have noticed.
I've contacted 2 so far, printer vendors to replace the big printer in here. I'm waiting to hear from them. They both wanted to know what we were replacing and what our usage is and what features we wanted. And this is all through their contact form, so, you know, I'm expecting somebody to either email or call back from each of those. You haven't heard anything from the salesman at Xerox, have you? I mean, he was gonna call 2 weeks
No,
ago.
they did the email instead and said that there's no toner, so.
Right, but in that email, it said that they were gonna
Yeah.
give it to Dave Golden and he'd be in contact. Oh, okay.
Did the payment get paid this month? The DEU?
No, that's the one that I wouldn't
Okay,
sign.
good.
Yeah, I'm gonna contact them.
paying for nothing, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get that taken care of. Thanks, but no thanks. I guess that's all I have. You already went over the personnel policy change.
Harry,
I'm still here.
nice to see you.
I'm just wondering on section 5 and section 8, the bulletin on tax abatements and appeals procedures, is that going to be posted on the webpage?
It's way too many pages. If people can find that, Google it, it's on the State of Maine website also.
Yeah, we can put a link
Link.
to the
Okay.
state website.
To
Yeah.
both of those, the MMA legal advice regarding amendments and audits, private citizens?
That
Yeah, what
one
is?
is more for in-house, that's more for us.
Yeah, that's for us.
It's not for
We can make
citizens.
a link to an application to file an appeal. And that will have a whole bunch of state information on it. This is for our use. I mean, if somebody wants to come in and look at it, that's fine, but it's not something that we would post generally.
Well, it has to do with the First Amendment rights, and that's what
But
concerns me.
that is for us.
Yeah, for how we deal with that.
Here, I'll give you a copy so you can see.
And since we had mentioned something about West Pond, I lost a good friend this week who lived on West Pond, which is Bill Buchanan, passed away this past week.
No, I didn't know that.
We don't know him?
I know him, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. He had COPD real bad, and just never made it to the hospital.
Yeah.
I
No, I
just want to
didn't.
make mention, because he's one of those people that doesn't want to fuss over it.
Yeah.
That's probably the last you'll hear of it.
Well,
I'm gonna miss him. That's it for me.
I have a question.
Jeff, you got,
No, go ahead
I just have a question.
first.
You mentioned.
you already had your chance.
I'm sorry, it was an afterthought. The ACO report, the sheriff's report, there was mention about posting on, the website.
Correct.
and the CEO's report.
Okay.
Right.
I haven't got into that yet, but I wanted to ask, is there any personal information that maybe should not be posted in those reports?
I have concerns about the
The-
York sheriff with the names people.
Yeah, and I
Well, there's
understand if the, it's public information if someone wanted to come in, but do we want to put, I don't know how much information's on those reports, I guess. Do we want to put that on there?
I
just want to double
I
check.
exclude the names when I'm going over the reports in general.
But if I post that report and it
Well,
has
that's
names
true.
on
Now,
it.
we have to make a decision. It's all public information,
Mhm.
so I
Check with
feel
MMA legal.
comfortable doing it.
Well, it's up to you, I mean, that's.
Yeah, it's public. There's, MMA legal's not gonna tell you anything.
But I mean, these people, that they haven't gone to court or anything, and
I mean, if you, like on the police report, if you black out just the name, 90% of the people would know who it was. Because it gives the street address and, not the street address, the street and all that stuff. So if you were a local resident, you could quickly figure out who that was.
So I guess that's why I'm asking. Do you want me to post? I will. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that's what you wanted.
I
Well-
guess,
Yeah, what?
why don't we look at the report and see if, I mean, I don't know how it comes through. Is it an Excel spreadsheet?
well, one part might be Word.
Okay.
Word.
If-
The report with the names and everything is a Word document. Yeah,
That makes it difficult. If it's a spreadsheet, you just hide the column.
right.
All right, let's, we'll look at that
We'll want it?
further.
Okay.
Yeah, but the CEO and the ACO can certainly go out there.
Okay. Thank you.
Jeff,
I think as far as that police reports, there's 2 reports. And what I usually get is just statistics of how many calls came in and.
Right.
and
Right.
so there's no names or anything like that.
But he has been adding to that, which
Yeah.
I've been reading off about. There was a hit and run or disorderly contact.
Yeah.
But
It
it
gives
does not get
It gives the
that.
name and address and everything.
The ones I've seen.
I've been leaving the name out, but
Okay, all right.
question is whether we want to do that or
All
not.
right. Now, if the state police are gonna be patrolling, right, are we gonna get a police report from the state police?
I haven't a clue.
Okay. I see that there's a tree warden opening on a tree warden. The tree warden has been, the position's been open for 2 years. Are you gonna fill that position?
Don't we have one?
It's
Yeah,
been filled.
yeah.
By who?
I don't have a name off.
Says it's open for the last 2 years.
Tim Gray.
Yeah, Tim Gray is the
Yeah.
tree
He's the
warden.
tree warden, not the fire warden.
No, tree
Tim
warden.
Gray, not Tim
Tim Gray.
Green. Different
Oh,
color.
okay, different.
Tim Gray.
I didn't see it on the website. For the town
I'm not
report.
sure it's posted on the website.
Well, it should be, shouldn't it be?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know
Alright,
what
so-
people would have to talk to our tree warden about, but
Well, somebody cutting down a whole mess of trees might be an issue.
okay.
I would have liked to talk with the tree warden about that tree in front of my place. Can't get CMP to do anything about it.
Not
But
sure
what is
the
he
tree
supposed to
warden
do?
will help with that.
Well, he can call CMP and give his.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's his charter, okay?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And
Jesse is not here.
I know.
I just got one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank Carrie Sawyer for opening up the high school for water Sunday. She for people who didn't have water. So I just want to thank her for posting that on Facebook.
Yep. I wonder how many people she got. I'd be curious. I'm gonna find out.
Well, it's pretty hard to get a lot of people when the internet is down.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
I was there to get water because I couldn't come here to get water because we didn't have a generator. So plus it was Sunday anyways. They're closed on Sunday.
Yeah. Were there other people there when you were there?
No,
No? Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah.
How did she advertise it?
Facebook?
through Facebook.
Yeah, and word of mouth.
And people who have their cell phones can use their data,
Right.
to get access to internet when they don't have internet at their house.
All right,
Don't close the meeting, please.
Yeah,
just
don't
looking-
we'll
close.
continue the meeting until
There's just a
11
few
o'clock on
questions.
Thursday to go into executive session to talk to the town attorney concerning the purchase and sales agreement of the mill.
Very good. So continued. And we're done? I guess we're done. You just continued the meeting.
We're done because we're continuing.
Yep. Very
Thank you,
good.
folks.
All right.